used to being humiliated and pay money to the Muslims. Can you just summarize for us, how did it work in practice?
They're called dhimmi, D-H-I-M-M-I. They'd have to stand, present the money to the collector, who'd be sitting higher than them. The Muslim bureaucrat would hold the dhimmi by the throat, telling him, "O dhimmi, enemy of Allah, pay jizya that you owe us for the protection and tolerance we grant you." The other Muslims present would imitate the collector, pushing around the dhimmi and those other Christians who were there. So it was to humiliate those who are paying the jizya.
So, as you pay money to government to protect you from them, you are also humiliated. What happened to the Islam, religions of peace and religions of tolerance? That doesn't look like very tolerance. That doesn't look like very religions of peace.
And the way this is applied, by ISIS, if you don't pay the jizya, they kill you without any hesitation. So it's worse than the mafia, because the mafia might burn down your home or your business. If you don't pay the jizya, ISIS will kill you.
So, if Islamic Spain was exist today, I guess it would be right to say they are practicing and living like a mafia towards Christians.
And that's what ISIS are. ISIS are a criminal mafia, but they're relying on verses from the Quran, and that's the problem. Yeah. It's in Surah 9:29, which says.
When you look at the Surah 9 verse 30, you see actually people have been killed because of their belief.
He said, "Kill the woman, children, even this."
Under the Islamic Spain,
they talk about
if a Muslim rape a Christian woman, what would happen to the Muslim?
Wow.
If a Muslim rape a Christian woman under the Islamic Spain, what would happen?
He would be lashed. But if a Christian raped a free Muslim woman, he must be killed. So double standards.
So Muslim rapes a person, they just get lashes. Yet if Christian does that, they get killed.
They make her a Christian.
That's wonderful Islam. That's wonderful Islam. What happens under the Islamic Spain if a Christian wants to build a church?
Well, they have to have permission, but permission is rarely granted. And sometimes they're allowed to build outside the city, but not within the city. We have examples of that.
And they cannot build a church which is higher than mosques or higher than Muslim buildings.
And no cross on the outside of their building. So you're going to see ISIS take the crosses off churches when they conquer a territory. No crosses are allowed.
But where Christians were able to wear crosses under the Islamic Spain?
Not on their own body. Not allowed.
And they cannot even put that in their churches or in front of their churches.
No.
What would happen if, let's say, sake of the argument, Muslims need to wash themselves before the prayer and there is no water? What would happen in that case?
You tell me, Hatun. It's very complicated.
Okay.
Look at that! She's lying, man.
It's in the book. Can I have the book?
Abolition, and if there is no water, they can use.
They can't speak their own Bible. They can't speak their own. They can't defend the Bible.
That use water can be.
Can you change your own Bible? Can you change your own Bible?
It has to be used by.
Can you change your own Bible? Can you explain Trinity? Can you explain Trinity?
Read that. Read it.
Give me, show me.
Used or touched. No. Because they see Christians as unclean human beings. I'm not sure they even see Christians as a human being. Because Christians make that water dirty, according to people who live in Islamic Spain.
Do you know the history of Christianity? Crusades.
What would happen
killing the
if
innocent
a
people?
Muslim decides to feed a poor Christian?
They gave the woman. Do you know that is the Christian? The Christianity. What about in Bosnia? They killing. What about in Iraq? What about in Syria? They rape the women. They kill. Come on.
Muslims can feed poor Muslims, but they cannot feed a poor Christian.
And can I say about changing your religion? A Christian can convert to Islam, but a Muslim is forbidden under punishment of death from converting to a different faith.
So, Islam is the religion of peace and has lots of tolerance under the Islamic faith. Yet Muslims don't even have right to convert to other religions.
And that's Article 18 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. We believe in the freedom to practice your religion, the freedom to change your religion. I respect my Muslim friend here. He believes what he believes. We don't condemn him if he changes his belief. Freedom of religion is a fundamental human right.
Can Christians under the Islamic faith were able to wear what they wanted to wear?
They couldn't look like a Muslim. They had to be more humble than Muslims, so they didn't look as good as Muslims.
Okay, there is a lady here. She's wearing white top without sleeves. Under the Islamic faith, were she allowed to go out like this? No. Because Islam does not allow women to practice their freedom of dress up. That's also from the religions of peace. Under the Islamic faith, were Christians able to ride a horse?
Not allowed to ride a horse. And the Jews were told to only ride donkeys as a sign of their humiliation under Muslims.
So, Christians cannot ride a horse in a Muslim area. I try to listen.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Jesus said kill women, children and dogs.
Are Muslims allowed to carry weapons?
They could carry weapons, but no Jew or Christian could carry a weapon, even for defense.
So,
the number 10 was 1718.
What happens if a Christian decided to go through the graveyard where Muslims are buried?
Well, that defiles the graves of Muslims for some strange reason.
So you can't even walk through the graveyards where dead people are buried?
Because it would pollute the Muslim tombs.
That's not very fun. So far, we looked at the life under the Islamic faith from Jewish perspective. We looked at
this way?
Under the Islamic faith from the Christian perspective, and that does not look very tolerant. It does not look a life we want to live under. Yet ISIS and Muslims want to go to the golden age of Islam. They want Christians and Jews to live the way they made other people to live from 8th century to 15th century. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Amazing thing is this. Even though they go out and take the lives of other people, even though they killed 13 people and injured over 100 people, they cannot win. Reason for that is because even though they use their scripture to justify their scripture cannot be the solution for mankind to live in a state where people love one another and respect one another.
And Jesus said, the commandments are love God and love your neighbor as yourself. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Love your enemies. We preach a message of love. We're here because we love people. We love Muslims. That's why we're here. Telling them about Jesus and a better model to follow and a better book to follow.
Yet, Islam does not provide that. We've got a God who loved us so much that God walked and talked with mankind. That God came and provide lunch
Come
or
on, stop.
food
Hey, Hatun,
people.
stop lying. Come on, you can be
Love
free.
you so much.
Hatun, we know you. We know you are a liar.
And loves you.
You are a liar. You can't. No, you can't help. You can't help Muslims. You can look at that. You are in YouTube.
Mankind to live
You are in
place where there is
Come on.
tolerance, where there is love
She
exists.
have in YouTube.
They
She
must.
can't charge Muslims.
They must
She is standing
follow
here for propaganda.
Lord Jesus.
Propaganda,
Because it is
Islamophobia.
Lord Jesus
Islamophobia.
who gives you peace with God. It is Lord Jesus who gives you peace with one another. Not Muhammad,
She hates the Turkish
not the
people.
Quran, not the
She
Islamic
is a
State.
Turkish. She
It
hates the
is
Turkish people.
only Lord Jesus.
She hates the Christian Arabs. She
You
hates
must
it.
come back to him. You must come back to him. There is no any other option.
Nearly 20,000
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Hatun.
She don't like it Arabs. You do that.